Barbara was a good person, a special needs officer at the college, which meant she was responsible for organising any type of special arrangements for people who were having difficulty because of something about them. It could be a physical disability or a mental disability. I was seen to be someone who had special needs, and this was because a lot of the work you had to submit was written essays, and you had to do exams within a time period live, and this requires you to write sentences and essays with a pen. This is something I've never been able to do very well and really struggle to write at all. I can't even write my own name, which is only 2 words, and it becomes a real struggle. I have no ability to write and make myself legible, so I can't write down things. And so I was told to report to the special needs officer so that they could make special arrangements, which was a complete and utter chaotic situation, testing my patience to the limit. But Barbara herself was a very nice person, a good person, and had a great sense of duty. I don't think she was particularly intelligent, but I didn't meet anybody at college that I thought was particularly intelligent. There was different ranges of intelligence, but most people were average. Some were very slightly above average, but not very much, and some were a little bit slow, but not very much. But I didn't see anybody or meet anyone who was outstanding, and this includes the lecturers, who I thought had experience and often had professionalism, but I didn't particularly see them as being highly intelligent people. They were routine thinkers. Barbara was of that type. She was a routine thinker and an institutionalized system thinker. This meant that I was trying to use savvy and common sense to solve a problem, but she saw it as in a system view. And what I was trying to do was get some way of typing submissions on a laptop or something like that, so that I didn't have to use handwriting. What I had was a little keyboard device, I forget what you call them. It was before people were regularly using phones, and certainly not smartphones. A little keyboard diary type of thing, electronic diary. So I used to take notes tapping on this little keyboard thing. So I was trying to explain to Barbara that I didn't have a mental disability and I didn't have a physical disability, but what I had was an inability, a very low ability, which is to do with dexterity, manual dexterity to write. But I wasn't here, I said, at college for my handwriting to be tested. If I am here to be tested on my handwriting, then I would fail, and I'd have to accept that. But I'm here to be tested on my understanding of the course content. So I can speak the exam, I can give you the answers verbally, I can give you the answers by using a computer and by typing, but if it requires handwriting, this is going to ensure that I fail, because I can't write. Wasn't really sinking in but I had to persist this anyway because it would have meant I'd have failed the course and I would have been back out on the street again. So the first action she took was to put me into a class of other people with, in inverted commas, special needs. And these people she put me in with really did have special needs. They were the kind of people who had difficulty sitting on these big wooden stools. They were falling off stools. They were having headsets on their head, which I don't know what that was for. And they had big watches and things that looked like radios stuck to their arms. And they were people who were really having difficulty coping with anything. And I was put in a class for these people who were all making an absolute racket, a lot of noise, and falling off their chairs and lying on the floor and biting people. They were biting each other and trying to bite me. And some of them were really quite big, heavy-set people, and they were rolling about and biting my ankle and stuff like this. And I was supposed to be learning high-level work, university standard, and this was supposed to be helping me. So I said that this wasn't helping at all. And she said, well, we can get you facilities for your disability, but what we need is a doctor's certificate. And I said, well, I don't have, it's not a medical condition I have, it's an inability to write, more than just a few words with and make myself clear. I can solve this problem by doing it a different way, as I say, by speaking or typing. She said, well, we need a medical certificate before we can get any more treatment for you. So I went to the doctor reluctantly and explained my situation. It was a very good woman doctor who I knew quite well, and she said, which I expected, there's nothing I can do for you. I know that, I understand, it's just they don't understand, but if you could just authorise my just say something which is going to help, and I'll take it back, and I might get a computer or something like that to help me. And I said, I've been in a difficult situation for a while, and this is crucial for me to complete this course. The doctor, I said, but I do understand you can't treat me because it's not a medical condition, it's to do with an ability or inability. She said, I can write to him, whatever. I said, well, we'll just leave it. And when I had this consultation with the doctor, there happened to be a junior doctor, a young man under training, and this didn't help because he was as naive as everybody else is in this situation apart from the GP. The young man was saying, well, if you just have more time, you could ask for more time to write your essay and stuff, saying things which weren't really making a lot of sense, not processing what I was saying. So this was starting to lead to me getting very frustrated. I explained this to Barbara, that the doctor said, well, we do the right thing, it's nothing they can treat. So therefore she couldn't give me a certificate. She wouldn't be doing her job properly to say this person's got a disability. So no funds were granted, but Barbara insisted on classing me and labelling me as being somebody with special needs. So she took me into this isolated room, which was unusual at college because every room was always used up, and said, we'll test you. So I got an appointment and she took me into this room. It was just me and her, and it was some old dusty room that was never used for anything, and there was all these ancient bits of furniture lying around and soft furniture. I think it must be where they take people who are a wee bit sensitive to the environment. I think it was supposed to make people look comfortable, but it was very strange. And she asked me to stand up straight, and she brought out all these different rulers and things and started measuring my spine, and she poked me with different things to check my balance and was trying to knock me over. And then she was reading Spoonerisms. She was saying, say this in this way, and she was saying, burly chassis. And I was saying, yes, that's Shirley Bassey. She says, yes. And then she got a stopwatch out and started saying things, and I was supposed to write them down, and then she was saying them backwards, and it all became what I would say was a bit of a farce. But all the time, I knew the woman was a nice person. It was difficult for me to be more forceful and just say, look, can we just stop this nonsense? All I need is some wee laptop computer and some type of official authorization to do my essays using a little computer rather than having to write with a pen. Can you just do that for me? That would help, and I'll not bully anymore. So this went on throughout all the time I was there, this constant interchange where I was trying to get very simple things solved, and they would say, well, we'll give you special arrangements for your exam. And what the special arrangement was, to put me into a group full of people with genuine special needs. And every time I sat any type of exam, they put me into this place where people were having fights, foaming at the mouth, biting me and other people, and generally not being able to even sit on their seat without difficulty. And I was in classes with this all the way through, trying to do very serious 3,000 word written exams. So it was a bit of a carry on, and my patience was tested to a limit where I said, look, can you just give me a laptop and I'll do all my stuff at home over the weekend. And I got this very cheap laptop. It was pretty rubbish, but I managed to at least get something out of the system. But it was a very frustrating period. But I will say the woman was very nice, just not quite tuning in to savvy or common sense, which I have to note was the typical of a college institution. There wasn't anyone who was that bright there. There was someone who was fantastic, a guy who was a bursar, and he allowed me to get some money paid into the college bank account, and there was another woman who issued me with special amounts of money to help me because I was destitute, and she was very good, fantastic people, and I was always expecting a pitched battle to try and get something. And when I came to the bursar and said, look, I'm at my wit's end here, I can't get a student loan, and I was expecting another battle, and the guy just agreed with me and said, yes, I really admire the risks you took and all that different thing that happened. I'm going to help you. And I actually just burst into tears. I just couldn't believe I was getting a positive response, and it caught me off guard, and I just turned into a gibbering idiot. There was tears pouring down my face because he helped me.